After pouring $13 billion into OpenAI, Microsoft just walked away from the partnership table and built something of their own, and it just cracked the top 10. This isn't another AI announcement. This is the moment one of the world's largest tech companies stopped renting intelligence and started creating it. Welcome back. On October 14th, 2025, Microsoft unveiled MAI-Image-1, their first fully in-house image generation model, developed entirely from scratch. No OpenAI code, no licensing deals. Just Microsoft doing what they've quietly been preparing for years. And the results? Already sitting at number 9 on LMArena's text-to-image leaderboard, outperforming models from competitors with far more experience in this space. But here's what makes this story deeper than just another AI model launch. This is about independence, control, and a strategic pivot that could reshape the entire AI industry. Let's break it down. For years, Microsoft was OpenAI's biggest investor and closest partner. They poured over $13 billion into the company, hosted ChatGPT on Azure, and built their entire Copilot ecosystem around OpenAI's models. But something changed. OpenAI grew too big, too fast, reaching 700 million weekly ChatGPT users and a valuation of $500 billion. They started partnering with Oracle, Google Cloud, and others. The exclusive relationship crumbled, and both companies began listing each other as competitors in regulatory filings. So Microsoft made a choice. They started building their own AI family, the MAI models. In August 2025, they released MAI-Voice-1, a speech generation system, and MAI-1 Preview, a large language model. These were early signals, testing the waters, and now, MAI-Image-1 has arrived. It debuted at number 9 on LMArena's global text-to-image rankings, ahead of OpenAI's GPT-Image-1, which sits at number 7. For a first-generation model, that's extraordinary. So what makes MAI-Image-1 different? According to Microsoft, this model was trained with one obsession: avoiding generic AI slop. You know the look. Those overly smooth, hyper-saturated, obviously AI-generated images that flood social media. Microsoft wanted to kill that aesthetic, so they prioritized rigorous data selection, brought in feedback from professional creators in the film and design industries, and trained the model on tasks that mirror real-world creative workflows. The result? MAI-Image-1 excels at photorealistic imagery. It handles complex lighting scenarios, bounce light, reflections, subsurface scattering, the subtle details that separate amateur renders from professional-grade visuals. It generates detailed landscapes, urban environments, and atmospheric scenes with a level of nuance that rivals far larger, slower models. And it's fast. Speed matters. Because creators don't just need one image. They need iteration, experimentation, the ability to prototype quickly, refine concepts, and move assets into other tools for final production. MAI-Image-1 was designed for that workflow. Under the hood, Microsoft is running this on their next-generation GB200 compute cluster, cutting-edge NVIDIA infrastructure that gives them the horsepower to train and deploy models at scale. Microsoft showcased several test generations to demonstrate the model's range. One example: a roadrunner bird sprinting across a scorching desert landscape, dust kicking up behind it, under a brilliant blue sky with distant mesas bathed in golden sunlight. The level of detail at the texture of the sand, the heat haze in the air, it's cinematic. Another: a young man walking through a city street at sunset, outdoor cafe seating visible, buildings reflecting warm light, the entire scene wrapped in that magic hour glow. And then there's this. The text MAI-Image-1, spelled out in wet sand on a beach, waves gently lapping at the edges, orange sky bleeding into the horizon. The model can integrate readable text into photorealistic environments, a notoriously difficult challenge for AI image generators. Right now, you can test MAI-Image-1 yourself on LMArena, where it's being benchmarked publicly against competitors. And very soon, Microsoft says it will roll out to Copilot and Bing Image Creator, putting this technology in front of hundreds of millions of users. That's the real impact. Not just a research demo, not a closed beta. A production-ready tool integrated into the daily workflow of Office users, students, marketers, designers, everyone. But let's talk about what Microsoft didn't say. They didn't release technical details. No parameter count, no architecture diagrams, no training dataset transparency. We don't know how large the model is. We don't know what images it was trained on, and that matters. Because AI image generators have a history of copyright issues, bias in representation, and the potential to flood creative industries with low-cost synthetic content. Microsoft claims they incorporated feedback from creative professionals during training, but that doesn't answer questions about consent, compensation, or the long-term economic impact on illustrators and photographers. There's also the broader strategic concern. As Microsoft builds more in-house AI, they gain control, but they also centralize power. The same company that controls your operating system, your productivity software, and your cloud infrastructure now controls the AI generating your images, writing your emails, and analyzing your data. That's not inherently bad, but it's something to watch. And then there's this. MAI-Image-1 ranked number 9 on LMArena. Impressive. But it's still behind Google's Nano Banana number 2 and Chinese company Hunyuan's model number 1. Microsoft is catching up fast when they're not leading yet. So where does this go? Microsoft's AI division leader Mustafa Suleyman said in August that the company has an enormous 5-year roadmap for in-house AI development. MAI-Image-1 is just the third step. There will be more models, more modalities, more integration. The pattern is clear. Microsoft is building a complete, self-sufficient AI ecosystem. Text generation, speech synthesis, image creation, and likely video, 3D modeling, and real-time reasoning in the near future. This isn't just about competing with OpenAI, it's about not needing anyone else. And that changes the power dynamics of the entire industry. If Microsoft can match or exceed OpenAI's performance with models they fully control, other companies will follow suit. Google's already doing it with Gemini, Meta with Llama, Amazon with their own foundation models. We're entering an era where the biggest tech companies don't partner on AI, they compete. For users, that could mean more choice, lower costs, and faster innovation. But it could also mean fragmentation, incompatible ecosystems, walled gardens, and the need to choose sides in an AI platform war. The question isn't whether Microsoft will keep building. They will. The question is, what happens when every major company has their own AI and none of them talk to each other? MAI-Image-1 is more than an image generator. It's a statement of intent. Microsoft spent $13 billion learning from OpenAI. Now they're using that knowledge to build their own future. Faster, more efficient, and under their complete control. And if a first-generation model can already crack the top 10 globally, imagine what comes next. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.